unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today's reading is all about your most attractive traits. So we're going to be talking about which of your qualities are the most attractive to other people. So these are physical qualities, these are mental qualities, these are personality traits that we are going to be discussing today. So get prepared to feel flattered and to start blushing. Because while you guys do call me the queen of calling you out, I'm also the queen of compliments when I'm in the mood to be. So in order to figure out exactly what is the most attractive part of you, I have prepared 5 groups that you can choose from. So I would like you to pick one of these 5 groups intuitively. As usual, if you feel drawn to more than one crystal, it is completely fine for you to watch 2 readings, maybe even 3, depending on how many you're drawn to, because your personal reading, it could be a mixture between multiple groups, depending on how you're feeling and what your vibe is. So the 5 crystals are as follows. We have the Diopside, we have the Amber, we have the Azurite, the Amethyst, as well as the clear Quartz. And as usual, the timestamps can be found down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the comment section by myself, in order for you to gain quick and easy access to your readings. And for all of you who have been emailing and DMing me about private readings, the link is down below in the description box, as well as the link to my crystal jewelry. So yeah, guys, I want to keep the intro short so we can spend more time within your individual readings, and I will be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Diopside, and to all of the other groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Diopside group number 1, which is a very grounding stone, which may be one of the traits that people really find attractive in you, but let's move straight into your reading to find out more about this subject. So we have simplicity as well as gateway. So one thing that I see within you, group number 1, is the fact that people find it so attractive how simple you are, okay? How easygoing you are, the fact that you know what you want, you know what you do not want, and you're easy to please. In gateway, one thing that I see here is that when people spend time with you, they feel as though almost like they're propelled into a different place, okay? When they have a conversation with you, they can fully immerse themselves in the conversation and feel like they're really discussing something of importance or something that makes them think further than just small talk. So while on one hand you are rather simple, you're somebody who is easy to please, you're somebody who likes to keep it simple at all times if possible, you like to keep things easygoing, you still have a very complex kind of facet to you when people get into a long, deep conversation with you. Then we have going forward as well as flexibility. So it seems as though the fact that you're simple has a lot to do with flexibility. And I'm not talking simple in any negative way. I mean simple as in, like we spoke about, easygoing, and you're okay with basically almost anything. And the fact that you're so flexible, the fact that you're willing to change plans or amend plans in order to just make sure that the overall outcome is favorable for everybody that is involved, makes you somebody that people like to have around, because it's just so attractive and refreshing to be around someone who is fine with everything and anything, who is also okay to be left alone for 5 minutes at a party or somewhere in a room. You don't take that personally. You're the kind of person who knows that other people often have difficult times in life and challenges that they need to overcome, and you understand that they sometimes need space as well as time to themselves. And going forward, one thing that I see is that what is so attractive about you is that you like to leave the past in the past, and you like to make sure that you're always pushing forward in the most positive way. So in going forward, one thing that I see is that it is important for you to make progress over kind of like looking back and mulling over the past. So the fact that you're somebody who is so oriented on progress, who is so kind of like goal fixated, goal oriented, and wanting to be flexible in order to reach their goals, it's something that people admire in you, group number 1. So never lose that quality and that asset, and make sure that you continue to kind of show this quality, because that is something that also makes you attractive when it comes to career opportunities, when it comes to romantic love, and just overall friendships and relationships. So then we have the King of Wands as well as the Four of Swords. So one thing that I see here in the King of Wands is the fact that you're somebody who has a lot of cool ideas. When you're passionate about something, you show it and you're not afraid to. In the Four of Swords, I see that you're able to convey your passions and your messages in a very eloquent way. So you're the kind of person who can have a conversation with anyone, and you have this way with words where you can say exactly what you want without sounding conceited and without rubbing someone the wrong way. Furthermore, in the King of Wands, one thing that I see is that people find you physically to be somebody who stands out in a way where others are interested in who you are. So when you enter a room, when you're present somewhere, people like to know who you are. People kind of already make up a story in their head of how your life probably is and who you are as a person, even if that is completely false and not even anywhere close to the truth. They still already have an idea, a preconceived notion of who you are, and that is mostly somebody who is strong, somebody who is proud, maybe even someone who is wealthy and who has a lot of opportunities in life. So you may think to yourself, oh my God, that is so not me. But group number one, we're talking about your most attractive traits to other people, not to you. Okay, group number one. So just accept all of these traits of attractiveness that I am conveying to you. So we have the Seven of Pentacles as well as Death. So group number one thing that I see here is the fact that you're the kind of person who can get over any situation and just kind of start over and be thriving very shortly after. In Death, one thing that I see is that one of the most attractive things about you is the fact that you're completely okay with somebody being in your life or not being in your life. You're not codependent. You don't depend on anybody for your happiness as well as your success. You're the kind of person who would rather go and do it by themselves, and you're patient. Okay, your patience is something that people really love. The fact that when you start something, you finish it, and you're the kind of person who will also patiently let projects as well as connections, relationships grow and flourish. You don't try and push anything. You know where the boundaries are, and you know what kind of boundaries you want to keep yourself in. So you're not a pushy kind of person. You're somebody who can respect other people's privacy. Then we have the beaver, we have the seahorse, as well as the gorilla. So group number one thing that I have overall within your reading, one thing that I receive is a very kind of peaceful energy and aura. That is one thing that I get in the gorilla. The fact that you're somebody who tries to avoid conflict, you're all about peace and love and harmony as well as spirituality, but that does not make you somebody who is just a dreamer. In the beaver, one thing that I see is that you're very hardworking. You're the kind of person who isn't afraid to roll up their sleeves. You're the kind of person who isn't afraid to put in the work where it is required, just because you want to make sure that you reach your necessary goals, or that you reach that threshold that you know you need to reach in order to be taken seriously. So while you're very connected on a spiritual level, while you're somebody who is very sort of tranquil and easygoing, at the same time, when things need to get done, you're there. And that is one thing that I see in the King of Wands as well. The fact that you can be so present, you can go from being kind of like in a, how should I say, dreamy mood and a dreamy vibe to all of a sudden being switched on and being right where you need to be. That is an asset that I see that makes people find you very sharp and intelligent. Last but not least, in the seahorse, I see here that you're somebody who is an advocate for equality. You want equality for other human beings. You want equality for other species as well as the ecosystem. So by wanting equality, say for like the ecosystem, I mean you want justice. You're the kind of person who feels as though just because somebody is, just because something is here, like for instance water, like for instance air, like for instance, you know, all of these precious and heavy metals and so on, doesn't mean that we can use this stuff, play with it, mess around with it just because it was already on the planet. That does not mean that it is for humans. So you're the kind of person who feels as though we have to be more respectful with other people, other species, for instance, how we eat other species, how we farm animals, how we treat other people, you know, people in countries where they do not have as much say as in the Western world, and just really making sure that human rights and so on are on point. You're somebody who has this communal care, and that makes you very attractive, group number one. That is one of your most attractive qualities. The fact that you care, the fact that you give an F, if you know what I mean, and you're not just one of those people, one of those millennials who doesn't care about anybody but themselves. So obviously I'm just quoting a stereotype. There is no age limit for my readings, but I just want to give you a good understanding of the kind of person that you are and the kind of things that make you attractive. So group number one, this is the reading that I received for you. If you made it all the way to the end of your reading, leave a little sun emoji down below to let me know, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number two, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the amber group number two, which is in fact a piece of fossilized tree resin and not a gem, but it is still considered one of the crystals and minerals when you look through books of crystals and minerals, because it has very sort of grounded, earthy energy. But I want to move into your reading to figure out exactly what your most attractive traits are. So we have truth as well as delight. So one thing that I see here is the fact that you're somebody who is very honest, okay? You're somebody who doesn't like lies. You're somebody who doesn't like to be around liars, and you're not someone who is going to spare another person's feelings by telling them a lie. You would rather tell them the truth. You would rather tell your best friend that that dress does not look very good on her, or that his suit is a little too tight or too loose or whatever it is. You would rather come forth and be honest than to have your closest friends and family sort of embarrass themselves. And that is one thing that a lot of people love you for. That is one thing that a lot of people find attractive in you. But if you do that to the wrong person, they might take offense to it. So group number two, I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with that. I actually do feel like it makes you somebody who is very honest and very caring, that you would rather tell somebody the truth than just be the one that like keeps up this facade of never saying anything negative. I think if you really care about somebody, then you're going to tell them what's up. Furthermore, in delight, one thing that I see here is that a lot of people like being around you because you're fun. You're a delight to be around. You're the kind of person who brings good energy into a room, and just on an emotional level, connecting with you is easy. Connecting with you is something that happens very naturally for other people. And group number two, you may think to yourself, I am so socially awkward, but that is what you think of yourself. We're talking about what your most attractive traits are to other people, okay? Not what you think your most attractive traits are. And then we have the meerkat as well as the chameleon. Okay, so one thing that I see here in the meerkat as well as the chameleon is the fact that no matter what the situation is, you're able to kind of be the person who is mature and looking out for everybody. So you may kind of have these father or mother qualities where people can always come to you when they need help, and people can always rely on you in times of change. That is one thing that I see in the chameleon. No matter what changes around you, one thing that stays stable is your core values. So you can adjust according to the times, you can adjust according to the trends and so on, but your core values stay the same. And that is one thing that is so attractive about you, the fact that you're such a stable person. So of course, that could mean, for instance, that if you were once anxious, you're going to be anxious 20 years later. But this also shows that if you once were someone who was easy to connect with, you will always be that person, because that sort of core personality trait just stays with you, group number two. In the meerkat, one thing that I see is that you're somebody who is very responsible, and that is attractive to many people. You have this sort of instinct of taking care of others who are, say, younger than you, who are less experienced than you, or just less mature. You're happy to give value in form of wisdom, and you're always trying to share and be there for others. That is super attractive, group number two. Then we have the orca as well as the armadillo. So one thing that I see in the armadillo, we already briefly touched upon the fact that you're so grounded and down to earth. One thing that a lot of people cannot stand is somebody who is conceited, somebody who is egocentrical. So the fact that you are the complete opposite, group number 2, makes you very attractive and gives you those traits that people like to be around, because you don't make people feel insecure. You don't make people feel as though you think you're better. In the Orca, one thing that I see here is the fact that just family, friends, they're very important to you, and if you need to take over some of their responsibilities, you will. So you're kind of like that rock, group number 2. You're kind of that person that one can always rely on, and people find value in that, because having somebody that you can rely on in this day and age is not easy to find. It's something that doesn't come by every day. So you're somebody who is extremely not only attractive in that sense, but also valuable to a lot of people. Then we have the Chariot as well as the Hanged Man. So I see that you kind of have this classic beauty, okay? There are features within you, your face, your body, that have this sort of classic approach to beauty. And that is one thing that a lot of people really like and really find attractive in you, group number 2. But in the Chariot, one thing that I also see is the fact that you know where you're going, or it seems that you know where you're going. You know, this is how others see you, not how you feel. And that is something that others find very attractive, the fact that you seem to know which route you're going towards, and that you don't allow others to pull you in different directions. So if there's a trend happening but you're not into it, you're not going to get into the trend. You're not going to all of a sudden stock up on those clothes or on that app or whatever it is that is going on, unless you genuinely like it, unless you're genuinely into it. So you're not somebody who is against, say, trends and against, say, fashion and so on, and technological evolution, but you're at the same time, you're not somebody who just goes with the crowd. You're not somebody who will just do something mindlessly because everybody else is doing it. You will do it if you see value in it. And that is one thing that shows, and one thing that is really attractive about you. Then we have the Ace of Cups, the High Priestess, the Wheel of Fortune, as well as the Princess of Pentacles. So one thing that I see here in the High Priestess is a lot of feminine energy that is attractive. So whether you're a male or female or whoever you identify as, it doesn't matter, because we all have male, well, not male, we all have feminine as well as masculine energy is what I was trying to say. So one thing that I see here is the fact that your feminine energy is really on like an all-time high right now. People find that very attractive. I see that that makes a lot of people want to chat you up. A lot of people want to talk to you, but they may also be a little bit intimidated or think to themselves that you're either too young or you might not be interested in them specifically. So I see here in the Wheel of Fortune that a lot of people find you attractive in a way how they would like to get to know you, but they are worried. They're really worried about whether you're going to give them a positive response or a negative response, as I can see in the Princess of Pentacles. The fact that you're somebody who has very young energy, okay? You maybe feel like you're not so young, but your energy is young. You have very fresh energy. You have energy that shows that your body, your mind, everything is kind of aligned and everything is working together really well, despite how you feel, and people find that intimidating. People find you to be somebody who is in their prime, somebody who is very beautiful in a classical kind of way, okay? And I see that that is something that can sometimes push people away, push people in another direction, because they feel as though maybe they cannot keep up with you as a person. So let's pull one more card for you, group number 2. We have the Swan. So group number 2, you're just beautiful. One of your most attractive traits is your looks, and I feel as though this was kept until the end in your reading, because I feel as though your guides didn't want to take away from your personality, because so often people may reduce you to a lot less than you truly are. If this is something that you've been through, leave a little swan emoji down below, also to let me know that you've made it all the way up until this part of your reading. So I want you to know, you probably already know this, that you're physically attractive. You're physically somebody that people find good looking. There's no other way to say it. You're cute, you're good looking, you're attractive, and you're kind of a dream or a fantasy to a lot of people physically. So as I said, I feel as though this showed up in the end to not take away from all of the great character traits that you have, from the amazing personality that you have, the fact that you're a delight to be around, the fact that you're a very truthful person, and that you can adapt to change, that you can adapt to anything that happens while still keeping your values the way that you feel is right, and making sure that your friends and family are always taken care of. So group number 2, this is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that it gave you some insight as well as motivation to continue being your fabulous self. So wherever you are in this world, group number 2, I hope that you have an amazing day or night, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Azurite group number 3, and I want to get straight into your reading to figure out exactly what your most attractive traits are. So let's get right into it, shall we? First and foremost, we have purity as well as protection. So one thing that I see is the fact that you seem very sincere, you seem very inexperienced, you seem very pure is something that a lot of people find attractive. So you may think to yourself that that is not you, but this is what other people find attractive in you. This is not how you see you, group number 3. So just relax and let things happen. So in protection, one thing that I see here is that you seem to be almost a little bit vulnerable, almost like the damsel in distress sometimes, which is funny because you're most likely somebody who is more on the independent side. You know, as in protection, we also have this kind of like one tree here that is within the storm, that is withering the storm. And one thing that I want you to know is that it is okay to seem like you could use help, so to say. It is okay to awaken people's kind of protective instincts. It doesn't mean that you're unable to do anything by yourself, group number 3. It just means that people like to stand up for you. People like to be there for you when they can, because they can feel that you're a pure soul, that your intentions are pure, and that you're somebody who will be appreciative of it. Okay, the cards are talking today. We have the polar bear as well as the tiger. So one thing that I see in the tiger is just the fact that one thing that's very attractive about you is your very strong will. Okay, one thing that I see in the tiger is that when you want something, you're going to get it, group number 3. So when you say to someone, I really want my dream car, and this is the dream car, or I really want to accomplish being able to do the splits and be more flexible, people who don't know you may think to themselves, oh yeah, like just let them talk. But people who do know you know that you're so strong-willed. You're somebody who is so into achieving the things that they have always wanted to, that sooner or later you will get there. And one thing that I see in the polar bear is the fact that you have always been inspired by other people who have come so far, even though the odds were stacked against them. So this may have to do with your heritage, this may have to do with your ethnicity, where you know that things have not always been easy, and in order to accomplish anything, you need strong willpower. And that is something that oozes out of you. That is something that everybody can see and everybody can feel who comes in contact with you, and they know not to mess with you, group number 3, and that's just the honest truth. So then we have the peregrine falcon as well as the sacred ibis. So I'm always afraid to say this wrong in English. We have the peregrine falcon. Okay, you guys. So one thing that I see here in the falcon is the fact that you're somebody who is very observant, okay? You're somebody who pays attention to detail. That is very attractive in you, group number 3. And the fact that you love to learn is another thing that makes you attractive. You're intelligent, you're somebody who likes to read, you're somebody who likes to learn new things. And others can see that you're not just a cute person. Others can see that you're not just this damsel in distress, but you're somebody with a lot of brains. You're somebody who is intellectually on a level where not many people can compete. And you're not one to brag about it. You're not one to make a big deal. You kind of keep it on the low, but when it comes to actually showing how much that you do know and how educated you really are, whether that is academically or you just, have been reading a lot about certain subjects, You are going to provide the truth, whether other people like it or not. Then we have a relaxation as well as the truth. Okay, so we literally just spoke about this group number 3, the fact that you will lay down the truth no matter what other people think, no matter how other people feel. So when you know the truth about something, when you learn something new, like for instance, how certain clothing is made, how certain brands make their clothing, and you realize that people are working under horrible, dire conditions in order for us to wear a certain pair of shoes or just certain items of clothing. Or when you find out that, for instance, the meat and dairy industry kills billions of animals every year without even blinking, and so many of those actually die before they even make it to the supermarket to be packed away as food. Like, just those are obviously just examples, but things like that, when you know the truth, once you have sort of looked behind the curtain, you cannot close that curtain, okay? Once it's been seen, that is something that stays with you and you cannot look away. That is something that you will bring up. If somebody brings up that sort of topic, that is something that you will mention if somebody tries to say, oh, well, you know, it's not that bad, because it is important for you for the truth to be out there. And people find that really cool about you. You may not seem very intimidating on the exterior, but you have, like, your words really do pack a punch. Your words really do hold weight, group number 3. And that is one thing that people find so cool and attractive about you. In relaxation, one thing that I see is that you're still kind of really easygoing. If somebody doesn't challenge you, if somebody isn't trying to look for an issue or a fight or a problem, you're just chill. You just want everybody to get along. You just want to live your life. You're honestly just here for the Netflix and chill, for the nachos and cheese, for just lying back and having a good time. You're not here to start any problems, to start any fights. You would rather sort of evade confrontation and evade conflict than be in the midst of it, but you like very intricate discussions, which is something that just once again shows where you are mentally, on what kind of level that you are. Then we have the 10 of Wands as well as the Ace of Swords. So one thing that I see here in the 10 of Wands is the fact that you're somebody who works very hard, but you have to slow down a little bit, group number 3. One thing that I see here in the 10 of Wands is the fact that you're such a hard worker, is the fact that you are not afraid to prove yourself, is something that people find very attractive. But at the same time, if you keep working this hard, if you keep sort of over expending your energy, you're going to end up looking old, group number 3, and we do not want that. So if you agree with me, leave a little butterfly emoji down below for our little forever young pact, okay? So don't stress yourself out so much. You work so hard, you try to please everybody, you try to be diplomatic. That is one thing that I see in the Ace of Swords. You have realized that it's probably best to have the diplomatic approach in order to get results that you desire. But you don't always need to be perfect, group number 3. You don't always need to be the person doing that. Relax a little more when it comes to work. Relax a little bit more when it comes to just your persona, okay? You're overall a very chill person, as we had in relaxation, but when it comes to certain subjects, when it comes to certain areas of life, I want you to know that it's important for you to chill out, and it's important for you to not always hold yourself to a higher standard than you hold everybody else to. Then we have the Devil as well as the Hierophant. So one thing that I see here in the Hierophant is the fact that in correlation to relaxation, people find you this very chill person that has this kind of meditative aura, okay? You're this kind of person that people find is like a chill zone. You're almost like a sound when you have these singing bowls, this tuning fork, and you play it, you create the sound, and you're kind of like that. You're a very serene person. You're somebody who is very connected to their spirituality, which people find attractive. That kind of makes you sexy, okay? And that is like my least favorite word, but I want to make sure that you know what I mean. So in the Devil, last but not least, I see that you're seductive to people. I see that People feel as though you're somebody who is physically very attractive. People find it hard to keep their hands off you. People find it hard to resist you once they have entered that zone where there is that comfort. So by that, I mean, when you get to know somebody and you start to click, you start to vibe, and you get a little closer, people find it hard to resist you once you have overcome being strangers and you're now a little closer to each other. You kind of have just that spark that makes people think of being intimate with you, group number 3. So group number 3, this is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. I truly hope that you found it insightful and that it gave you peace of mind. Let me know down below in the comment section what really hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amethyst, group number 4, and who doesn't love a good amethyst? I want to get straight into your reading to figure out exactly what the most attractive traits are that you have. So we have voyage as well as miracles. So one thing that I see here is that you're the kind of person who is very interesting and very intriguing. When people first meet you, they find you to be this person that they want to know more about. They want to know more about who you are, where you come from, where you've traveled to. Just the kind of person that you are overall is something that I see that a lot of people find very interesting, and a lot of people want to delve into conversation about your life. So you may be somebody who is very unconventional, you may have a very interesting life story, you may just overall kind of exude this energy that piques people's interest. Then in miracles, one thing that I see here is the fact that you're kind of like the person that makes others believe that they can do anything. So you're that amazing friend that always hypes your other friends up. You're that friend that always tells your friends to believe in their dreams, believe in what they want to accomplish, and you just overall make people feel as though anything can be done. And that is one thing that makes you very attractive, especially as a friend, because who doesn't see value in someone like yourself, group number 4? Then we have a relaxation. So one thing that's very attractive about you is the fact that you're never pushy. You're never the kind of person who's trying to extract information out of another human being. You're never the kind of person who's trying to push for a specific outcome. You're always trying to allow others to take their own steps towards happiness, positivity, but also their own steps towards healing, okay? You don't force anybody to heal. You don't force anybody to speak about what they don't want to speak about. You feel as though everybody has their own time that they need in order to come to terms with whatever it is that they've been through. Then we have going forward. So you're somebody who is very oriented on moving forward. You're not somebody who lives in the past, which is very attractive. When something amazing happens to you today, you base your happiness on that. You do not base your happiness on something that has transpired in the past. And you do not remind yourself about failures, nor do you remind others about their failures. You're very forward thinking, and that is something that other people really love and cherish about you, because they can have interesting conversations about the future and about the development of humanity as well as this world with you. Then we have change and action. So one thing that I see is the fact that you're the kind of person where when you want change, you put in action. You don't expect change to happen just by being the same person you were yesterday. You don't expect to do the same thing over and over again, but expect there to be change. That is not you, group number 4. You are very connected to how this world works. You're very connected to how life works. You know that if you want a different outcome, there needs to be change. There needs to be a different input. So you're unafraid to take action, which other people always admire you for. Other people always wish that they had just an ounce of your strength and your courage to actually make change happen, to actually sort of participate in changing your life, because others wish that they could change their life. Others wish that they could actually go out of that comfort zone and make something happen, but you're the one who just does it, and it seems effortless. And you may think to yourself, group number 4, it is not effortless at all. I am literally struggling every day to get out of my comfort zone, and that is completely fine. But this is what other people find attractive in you, not what you think is attractive about you, group number 4. If you made it up until this point of your reading, group number 4, leave a little rainbow emoji down below to let me know that you made it to this point and that you're paying attention to your reading. So we have Death as well as the High Priestess. So group number 4, in Death, one thing that I see is that you're okay with failures, okay? And that is, okay, so many okays. And that is one thing that a lot of people are not cool with. That is one thing that a lot of people are too afraid to admit, but not you. One thing that I see in correlation to the High Priestess as well as Death and how attractive you are is the fact that you're fine with admitting when you were wrong. You're fine with admitting when something went left instead of going right. And you do not feel like that is something to be ashamed about. On the contrary, you feel as though if you don't speak up, then who will speak up? So you're completely fine with sharing your struggles, your growth, and also how you got to where you are today. You're somebody who doesn't see everybody else as competition. You know that there's enough abundance in this world to go around for all of us, and you don't have this sort of mindset of scarcity. On the contrary, you're the kind of person who feels as though so many of us can be successful, as many of us as actually want to be successful can become successful, and there should be no limitation. Seeing one person do well does not mean that that takes anything off of your plate or off of your success. And that is one thing that people really like, and it just kind of fuels into the fact of how relaxed you are with life and how relaxed you are with letting other people be successful and be themselves. Then we have the King of Wands as well as the Three of Pentacles. So one thing that I see here is that you're somebody who likes to have fun. That is what I see in the Three of Pentacles. And at the same time, you're someone who is most likely a really good kisser, most likely really good in bed, group number 4. I know this may be a little bit TMI, but that is one thing that I see in the King of Wands. The fact that when people are with you, they kind of get addicted to how you are when they're being physical with you. They kind of get addicted to the kind of person that you are, as well as how you act in this romantic kind of setting, okay? And just overall, you're somebody who is attractive in the sense when it comes to passion. You're a very passionate person when you want to be and when you feel like it's right, and that just shows in how you are with people who you're romantically involved with. Then we have the Sea Otter as well as the Snow Leopard. So one thing that I see here is the fact that you're the kind of person who is not afraid of change, and that makes you so attractive. You have gone through different phases, you have gone through different transformations. That is one thing that I see in the Sea Otter, and you are okay with where you are now, but you're also not afraid to become a better and different person down the line. You have most likely gone through some phases with, say, your personal style, as well as your thought process, how you think. For instance, for me, what I thought a few years ago about personal finances, how to be financially free, how to make a living, how to earn a living was completely different than who I am today. So that may be something that you're okay to go through. That may be change that you're very happy to face when the time is right. As I can see here in the Snow Leopard, that you're always looking for the next thing that fits your life in a more seamless way. You're always looking for the next thing that makes more sense than what you're doing right now. You're always looking to be more efficient, to be that person who makes sure that they're always on track with the time, that they're always kind of forward thinking. And you're not the person who stands in line in front of the Apple store in order to get the iPhone as first. That is not you, group number 4, but you're the kind of person who wants to know what is going on in the world when it comes to, say, as I said, personal finances, or when it comes to financial freedom. That is where you want to be first in line. That is where you want to learn new things, and people find you inspiring because you're not afraid to think outside of the box with that. You're not afraid to think about unconventional ways of making your life as well as your health better, and that is one thing that is really attractive with you, group number 4. So group number 4, this is the a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below what really hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 5, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the clear quartz, group number 5, which is a very cleansing stone, which may be why you chose it, but I want to move straight into your reading to figure out exactly what makes you the most attractive. So we have release as well as potential. So one thing that I see within you, group number 5, is the fact that people see a lot of potential in you. People see that you're somebody who will go very far in life, who has the potential to make a change as well as go very far in life, and you maybe do not see that, group number 5, and this reading is not about whether you see that you have potential. This reading is all about what people find attractive in you, and they find it attractive that you're somebody that really exudes this winner energy, that exudes this energy of I am going places. So moving further into your reading and release, I see that people love how you're able to let go of things that were never meant to be yours to begin with. So that could be in love, that could be in life in general. So if, for instance, you know, somebody is being strange when it comes to love romantically, somebody is ghosting you or is only there when it's convenient for them, you're okay with letting them go because you're not going to be anybody's convenient choice when it suits them. The same goes for life in general. If something is too expensive, if you can't buy something 3 times over, for instance, whether it's that bag or that car or whatever it is that you might struggle to pay for, you would rather just let it be. You would rather just wait till you can really afford it until you go for it. So one thing that I see here is the fact that you are the kind of person who lives within their means, and you don't try to be somebody that you're not. You don't try to use material things to cover up any sort of flaws that you feel like you have internally or anything that might make you feel lesser than. You don't need any material things in order to feel validated or like you're a human being that is deserving, group number 5. Then we have flexibility as well as embracing. So group number 5, I see here in flexibility that you're somebody who is okay with a change of plans. Your friends really love you because when they're going through something, if they have a last minute emergency, you're there for them. You're not the kind of person who is worried about plans being canceled or worried about things somehow changing. You're there to fully embrace them. You're there to fully be there for them. That is one thing that I see in embracing. You're the fact that you're not the fact. You are the kind of person where you are okay with changing your entire day, your entire week up just to accommodate a friend. The fact that you are willing to do that makes you very loyal. It makes you somebody who is very attractive to have as a friend as well as a romantic companion, group number 5. So you really have a lot of emotional things, a lot of personality traits that people love in you and people see a lot of potential in, and not only for you to go far in life, but also for you to be somebody that they can have a successful relationship with. Then we have the 6 of Cups as well as the Emperor. So in the 6 of Cups, one thing that I see here is the fact that you're a great time when you're out and about. You may think to yourself that you like to have your own space, you don't like to be around people too much, but I see that once you are out and about, you're a great person to talk to. You're very fun and you're very open-minded. So we have the High Priestess as well. One thing that I see here is that you have kind of like a little bit of psychic abilities. You have a very strong sixth sense. In correlation to the Emperor, I can see that you like to plan ahead. You're the kind of person where people find it very attractive that you know what your next steps are. You don't leave things up to chance, where chance would be bad, where chance would be detrimental. You make sure that you have all your ducks in a row and you have your life together. That is what other people see within you. Okay, the cards are really just talking for themselves today. We have the Four of Wands. So you're somebody who conveys sort of like this message of stability. That is one thing that I see here in the Four of Wands, as well as in the Emperor. You know, you're somebody where people know that that you're mentally stable, and you may not feel this way, but this is what people find attractive about you. And you have this kind of authoritative energy that is just hot, group number 5. People find you to be that person that they sometimes like to get on your nerves just to see what you're gonna do, just to see how much they can push you, because they find it entertaining and hot when you get annoyed. So group number 5, that can be very agitating. That can be something that is really annoying, but know that people find you attractive. Know that people love just how put together you are, and sometimes they want to just see how far they can push you until you show a different side. So let's move further into your reading. We have the Raven. So I see here that you're the kind of person who is on the outside very attractive, as in you always look very clean and well kept. So you may think to yourself, okay, like I go out in sweats all the time, but that is not what I'm talking about. You look as though you take care of yourself, as in how you carry yourself, your skin, those details that only people would know who do the same. Okay, so one thing that I see here is that you seem to kind of inspire people to take better care of themselves as well. You inspire people to really put more thought into their inspire people to really put more thought into their appearance. And furthermore, one thing that I see is that it could make some people insecure, but overall that is just because they find you attractive and they feel insecure being around somebody who they consider to be attractive. Then we have the Jackal, we have the Peacock, we have the Tiger, as well as the Dolphin. So you're a very happy person, group number 5. I see that people love your happy and bubbly energy. So you're most likely somebody who is always in a good mood. You would rather talk about the good than mull over the bad. And in the Tiger, I see that the fact that they see so much potential in you has a lot to do with this trait of you having a very strong head and a very strong will. So maybe already as a kid, you were always the kind of person who did not like to be told what to do. You did not like for anybody to make plans for you or for anybody to give you orders. You either did not do them as well, or maybe completely rebelled against that because you have such a strong will and personal opinion. And I see that that is now a strength. That is now something that is attractive in you. In the past, other people may have badmouthed you for it, or may have thought, oh, you're never going to be anything because of that. But now people see immense potential. And now people are here for it, which is kind of a little bit annoying that people could not embrace that in the past, but that's often just how things are. Then in the Peacock, one thing that I see here is that physically, as I said, it doesn't matter whether you're in sweats, whether you're in trainers, people feel as though you still have this elegant appearance. People feel as though you still have this appearance of affluence. So the fact that maybe, you know, your hairstyle, the way you take care of your skin, the kind of like details that go into the clothes that you select makes people who have a trained eye see that you put care into it, and they see that you're somebody who likes to make sure that even when they're in sweats, they're still put together. I bet you guys understand exactly what I mean. It's difficult for me to actually eloquently put it in a sentence, but I think you guys understand the vibe that I'm talking about. Furthermore, in the Jackal, one thing that I see here is that you're somebody who is truthful. You're somebody that other people feel like they can come to with the truth. So you're almost like the therapist for your friends and your family, group number 5. And if you've made it all the way to this part of your reading, leave a little wine glass emoji down below, because honestly, being the therapist in your family for your friends, you may need a whole bottle of wine actually, because sometimes listening to other people's issues and problems can get very exhausting, and you may think to yourself, well, when is it my turn to vent? But one thing that I see is that people really love that about you. People really find you to be this great friend, this great resource, this great person to have around, because they feel comfortable speaking about any and everything to you, even if sometimes you think to yourself, wow, that was a little TMI. Other people feel very comfortable and feel very much like you're not going to judge them. So you're a very non-judgmental, kind of free-spirited person, group number 5, which is attractive attractive, but at the same time, you can buckle down, get things done. In potential, I definitely see that the drive is there, the ambition is there. In the Tiger, you have the will to leap forward and get what you want to get, and that just expresses itself by itself. You don't need to say so. That is just part of your presence when you enter a room. You don't need to say anything. Your presence already conveys these messages. So group number 5, this is a reading that I received for you, and I truly hope that you enjoyed them. I hope that they hit home. I hope that you found that they resonated with you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings.